What's good, family? So today we're gonna talk about support and resistance. I'm gonna show y'all how to mark up these charts so then y'all can go out here and make some easy profits simply off of support and resistance. So when we're looking at support and resistance, to keep it simple, support and resistance is basically the area of the market where it got a bunch of touches. Now I know that y'all can already see my charts and y'all see the levels that I drew, but let me show y'all why I drew these levels. So let's look. Alright, first off, when you zoom in, we see a lot going on right here. Now, support and resistance will be basically this area would basically be support. This is where the market touched a whole bunch and basically didn't break past this area. So then you could basically take this as a point to where, alright, you could draw your line down here. I personally use horizontal lines. You can use boxes. You can use whatever you want to use. And this would be a support zone, simply just where the market touched a whole bunch and it didn't actually break. And these wicks that you see, which the body of the candle, which is the big green part, it actually didn't close down here, which means that this will basically be like, well, it'll be a wick, but you wouldn't necessarily want to add that as far as inside of your box, simply for the fact of it's like a fake breakout to where we broke out of the box, but then we closed inside the box. So to be honest, y'all can make a lot of money simply just using support and resistance. If you just follow support and resistance, then you'll really just follow the trades, follow the trend. So, alright. Honestly, I'm gonna get a different chart. Some that's not crazily marked up right now. Let me see. Mm, Let's see. I ain't gonna lie, probably most of my charts are marked up. Yeah, it's looking like it. Alright. Well, I just use this chart then. Most of them are mainly marked up. So, as you see, where I got all of these lines at, I'm kind of make it make sense to y'all. We clear all of this out. Alright, so now you got basically a naked chart. Now, when you look at this, you zoom out and you'll be like, alright, well, we see that we had a big sale going right here and we sold. And at this point, this is where the market started to form a support zone. So what you could do is you can go ahead and get your horizontal line and we can go ahead and mark that up. Boom. So this would be a point to where if we come back down here, we can expect it to more likely bounce back off and start coming back up. Now we got a resistance zone, which would be right here. And this is all on a daily formation, so of course you could go inside and find more. But I will say when you trading, especially like swing trading, really any type of trading, you want to look at the higher time frames to determine what's happening overall rather than like the lower time frames. So with the higher time frames, we see we got the support down here and then we got resistance up here. And then when we got to this resistance, we broke out, which you could have took this trade from the breakout of this candle right here, and then you could have just been riding it up here. And then you'll be like, all right, well, how do I know where to get out at or if we're going to continue? All right, well, if we look to the left, right up in here, we got another zone that's a resistance zone. So now, alright, we made it to this point. Alright, well now we kind of broke out, or we possibly could come back in a little bit. But now you want to mark up this top zone, which would be up here, and this would be your next area of interest. To where, since we already kind of breaking out, what'll more than likely happen is we'll get a pullback to about this support, well, resistance zone right here, which technically would be support at this point, and then we'll start moving up to this side. So you'll probably catch this sale for 2 days or so, or one day, and then it'll bounce up. We come back here, and then once we break out, we'll come up here. So honestly, if y'all could just really pay attention and mark up y'all support and resistance zone before y'all actually trade, it will make trading a lot more simpler. It'll make it a lot easier, and y'all can catch a lot of pips simply just on the support and resistance. I'm not. I think I got a Wi-Fi thing. But yeah, that's basic. I mean, to be honest, if you not really using support and resistance, if you're not marking up your charts, you will kind of just be looking at it, and it'll be like a lot going on. Probably not really sure where to get out at, where to enter it. Support and resistance will be your best friend to actually see, all right, where could we potentially go? So looking at this, as you see, I mean, obviously, we had a zone right here to where we started to, let me mark this up again. Not sure what happened to my lines. But we had a zone right here, basically to where we had actually started to turn around at, which that'll technically be our support zone. And as you see, we hit this zone right here on the 4 hour mark, and we just took off. Like we haven't turned around, we ain't got no pullbacks. Well, we got a little small pullback, but it wasn't that real major. So we might, well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna clear it. Cause usually when you see the market continue to trend in like this ugly looking phase to where it wasn't a lot of volume, wasn't a lot of momentum, we usually clear that out. So since we have this part to where we broke out of this box, and then we got this area that we came up to, which you always want to look at the left side and see what's going on. So we came up into this area. Now you can mark the top of that. I simply like grabbing the highest point, and as you see, that was like a very clear trade. So if you caught this, if you just seen all of this bounced off, boom, you would have caught a very crazy trade. Even right here, we touched down here, started taking off, but then we came back down. Right here, we touched down here, then took off to the cost that, then came back down to the line, did it again, came back down, and this one was just even crazier. Now, what I will say, you got even your smaller support and resistance going more deeply inside of it. So then you can mark up this little zone right here, and then this will technically be like a resistance point for you. And like I said, you can just mark them up like simply just where it touches it, where it's a whole bunch of touches, and it's not like a lot going on. All right, boom, we touched right here. Can mark that up. That's kind of a little ugly, but the market is kind of ugly going all up in here. So you could basically expect it to come back down since we hit this. If it don't break and continue, if it don't break and continue, we'll more likely come back down here. And since we got this ugly trend, it's not 100% sure it's gonna happen this week. It might be next week, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna come back and clear like all of this simply for the way it moves. That's something that I've learned just with trading. When you get like these real ugly movements like this, then we usually come back and clear it at some point in time. So that's a real easy and simple markup of support and resistance. Honestly, if you just mark up your support and resistance and you just follow your trends, you will make like I don't know how much money you make now, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna make like 10 times more money than what you're making simply just following support and resistance. And when you get to these points, they could be your exit points, they could be your entry points, they could be like a continuation. You really just gotta determine based on the trade. So you always want to look to the left side and see what's going on the left. And once you see what's going on the left, then you can find out what's gonna happen on the right. Like right here on the left side, we touched right here. This would be our support zone, which we can mark that up. And then boom, we touched up in here. And as you see, even across the board, we had these little minor touches all through here. But regardless, we touched right here, went crazy, and then we can drop back down, and it just had a real nice sell-off. So I would say that you can expect basically the way down here to do the exact same thing, to where we touched right up in here, made it back to this area, and we more likely gonna sell off and come up in here, or probably gonna clear the whole thing and come up in here, and then take off and continue. So if y'all don't know support and resistance, I mean that's a real simple and easy breakdown. If y'all need me to go even more in depth, which I mean that's pretty simple, pretty easy. But if y'all want me to go more in depth, I definitely can. But start marking up y'all support and resistance. Start utilizing this to actually take y'all trades to find out if you can hold trades to find out where the market could actually go, to find out where you want to take profits at. And when you setting your stop losses, you always want to set a stop loss at a previous support or resistance. So let's say if you think that you're gonna buy up here, you're probably gonna get smacked out. To be honest with you, just by the way this looked, your best bet would have been to either get in down here when it first started, to get in right here at this entry point, or to get in right here at the basically tip top of it, or the last little piece before we push going forward. At this point, you don't have no clear stop loss like this. That would be kind of ugly unless they just keep going. Then you could like take that position, but more than likely, you want to let it go ahead and start to break these points, get you a retest, and then go ahead and put you a stop above here and catch the sell instead of the buy. So yeah, that's a simple support and resistance breakdown. Like I said, I can't go more in depth. Support and resistance pretty simple, pretty easy, but it'll make you a whole bunch of money because the market move in patterns, and it's always gonna move in patterns. So you just need to catch the patterns, be able to identify the patterns, so you can catch the patterns and be able to mark up your chart, so it can be way more clear for you. And like I said, you can use the horizontal lines or you can use the boxes, however you need to do it. But that's an easy breakdown of support and resistance.